Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while, because exam periods and I was busy. However, I'm back, and I've been doing some things. I've been skipping a little bit behind the camera, as you can see, if you actually did catch up on my previous episodes. And now, I'm just going to do a lot of explaining and showing instead of just building stuff as I usually do. So, get started. First things first, I have finally, I don't know whether I've shown it in the last episodes because that I skipped for a bit. I have finally learned how to actually use the occultism circles in crafting, in recipe creation and adjustment. So, I have added ways to add sugarcane and, for example, cactus, like that. And that reason, I'm going to show it quick, the basic circle from occultism. And if we do this, apparently I broke one of these symbols. So yeah, if I find a chal here, yeah, I just got one missing. So if I place it there, it's going to write random stuff of my hotbar, but that's the issue of the mod, not as far as I'm aware. And within a few seconds, this all gets consumed. One kelp is turned to my first one, actually. I haven't tested it. I have tested it on the cactus, but not the sugarcane. So, I can throw it in there. And yes, I'm going to include this quite a bit in the progression about some special items that you need to craft only once. I'm not going to be specifically using it for stuff that you'd have to craft multiple times or have to automate. God, no. But if you just need for progression one item, this is a good way to obtain it. Really easy one. And, of course, we have the inside of this thing that I've put quite a bit of effort to make it work and make it even designed, just tiny bit. So what does this all do? Oh, it actually just so happens create all of these things. How does it do that? Well, most of them go from cobblestone. So, right here, I have a cobblestone generator. It's not working yet. I mean, it will be working. It technically is already working, but it doesn't really have an on and off switch. So you kind of have to break it for it to start working. And then if you want to turn it off, you have to kinda do the same thing. So let me see if I can figure out how to do that. Because, yeah, I forgot how it actually works. So, maybe? Yeah, sounds like it started working. Excellent. So, apart from it being loud, it actually starts, as you can see, producing cobblestone that gets thrown into this barrel right here, and that gets carried away through the chute upward, as you can see. So how does this cobblestone generator actually work? You can see, first of all, it works on rotation principle. So, cobblestone generator generates cobblestone, or yeah, it's cobblestone right below the lava. This simple arm that rotates 90 degrees back and forth with this sequence gear shift grabs the entire row and throws it into here, where already is cobblestone, which results in items dropped and pulled by the water into the item elevator. Then there is the observer, which checks for cobblestone. If there is some, it pulls out a redstone signal that activates and deactivates the sticker, so it can move the cobblestone. And in case you've noticed that this water is kinda weird, because here is a stair of water, which allows for the last 2 blocks of water to be different direction. It's a bug in the game, slash feature, so why not to use it? If I go back to survival, I am going to eventually probably design this place because it doesn't look good, and all of this square area underneath this could be pretty space for more automation. But for now I don't need it, so I don't even go here really. So this is excessive. So, how much cobblestone are we generating? Yeah, this was empty when I started though. So as you can see, it does quite a bit work. I'm actually not going to let it work because it's loud. And the breaking and hissing of lava is really annoying. What this does, right, I need to just switch this other way around, and I can show you. So where does all that cobblestone go? It starts climbing through this over here from below, and then if I walk up here, this is the same chute, it gets pulled upwards towards this fan. However, because of this chest that is placed above this chute right here, it gets imported into the chest itself first, which 3 items are taken, moved into the andesite tunnel, which evenly throws every one of these items, one of these. And then it's just 3 mills. It will be easier to the directions here. They just process it into some gravel, and that gravel gets taken by the water and picked up the barrel here. So close it, and then 3 of these. It's actually pretty important that it's free. So this gravel gets taken here. So what does this do exactly? So how does this work? So as you can see here, this andesite, this brass funnel takes 2 of these and imports them onto this belt, which throws it into the washing part of the furnace. It doesn't take only, or specifically, just the gravel. It takes also the sand, other things, to be washed. And whatever isn't taken by this, which is, for example, the third of the items, or the last third of the items, it gets pushed onto the follow-up belt that throws it into the blasting part of the oven, which then makes slag gravel out of it, as you can see. And in case it's the sand, we'll see in just a second. I will explain how sand gets created in a moment. In case it's the sand, it gets thrown into this chute right here, which throws it into a drying basin, which makes red sand out of it. And we will see it right now. There we go. It's visible for just a second. And that gets washed as well into gold. But before we get to the sand part, we need to explain this water stream that throws it into this basin right here. And this press is basically doing the compacting of ingots as well as andesite from the gravel itself, from the flint itself. Everything else is allowed to pass through this other side right here and here. most of it. Because if it is a slag gravel, if it's the slag gravel, it actually passes through the other side of this tunnel onto here. And that slag gravel gets thrown with priority into this chute that transport cobblestone. And when it doesn't transport cobblestone, it gets thrown inside and pulled upwards. We should see it in just a moment. There we go. That's the same item. Thrown back into this chest. And in this chest, we then have cobblestone as well as the slag gravel. And because this brass funnel takes mostly, or most of the time, from the first position, alternatively sometimes from the second, it will always keep switching between the slag gravel and the cobblestone. It's possible that it may overflow with slag gravel. However, that can be easily solved by just reducing the amount of incoming cobblestone. But as of now, it's working sufficiently. And this slag gravel is then processed through the same mills that we have here into sand that then gets thrown onto the same belt, and you've already seen what that does. That's how we get gravel, that's how we get sand, and from sand we get both iron, from sand we get both copper and gold, and from gravel we get iron ingots. And all of that, well, except the overflow red sand, that can occasionally happen because I need to redo my tool. These have magnetism, which means that sometimes I pull something too early, and for that reason it's up in here. But as you can see, here goes a copper ingot, it ends up here, and basically currently it works, should work that it generates a little bit more iron than the other two, or most iron, second most copper, and third most gold. It's not currently visible here, because I took a lot of the iron. So, zinc ingots, how do they actually work? Zinc ingots are created from washing mud. See here. Mud gets created with a mixer and water. So, basically, here I have infinite water source that gets pumped, water gets pumped to this basin here. And here I have a little farm that is self-powered by wind. This is actually not a mechanical bearing down there, but windmill bearing that works with these 8 sails. And this rotates casually, and once it finishes the rotation, attaches the portable storage interface. Now, and as a result, we get all of these things. It's not finished, that's why there is this chute. I can easily demonstrate just by grabbing a few different seeds I can throw on the belt. It then gets imported into the basin itself, which mixes it and outputs mud blocks, as you can see there. You can see I have smart chute that's limited to 2 because it goes into washing, and washing is limited by 2 items at a time. And of course we have a lot of side products like andesite and clay, potentially some dead bush and hanging roots. I will see what to do with that. Probably maybe use it as building materials, andesite typically, and clay. Perhaps use it as a main material for some other production. Andesite, obviously, you make andesite alloys out of that, but clay, maybe something like this, liquid concrete. It's an option for future, or basically phase 2, because this is phase 1 of the modpack. So this is actually the first factorization, actual factorization I've done here. A lot of what I had before was temporary. However, I'm enjoying it right now, so I feel like there is probably going to be a next episode.